Good morning, everybody. Well, today we're going to be doing a little bit of work on the Gladiator, some preventative upgrades, I guess you could call them. Should be pretty easy, but let's talk about what we're going to do. So first of all, one of the weak points on the Gladiator is the rear sway bar endlink brackets. They are known to fail. I'll put a picture up here for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Not catastrophic failure. If it happened while you're on a trail, you should still be able to finish your trail. You just might not have any rear sway bars, which can be good or bad. But why not fix it in advance? I think I paid 70 or 80 bucks for these. They're from Metalcloak. It's a sway bar endlink reinforcement bracket, something along those lines. Very thick, quarter-inch thick steel. Got the cool zinc anodized or zinc finish. Metalcloak stuff is top notch. Very well built, beautiful welds. I got a couple Metalcloak items on my Jeep and couldn't recommend them enough. This should be pretty easy. You have two bolt holes here that should use factory bolts on the frame. And then right here, this will go on one end of the existing OEM bracket. And they come with a couple 10.9 grade longer bolts that will go through here, through the existing bracket, into the end link itself. So should be real easy. You never know. Jeep seems to have two torque settings on their Jeeps. It's either slathered in Loctite or thread locker and as tight as you can possibly make it so you can't remove it, or it's finger tightened and needs to be tightened. So we'll see which one we run into. I'm hoping it's normal and it's just torqued as it's supposed to be and easy to replace. So should be easy, fingers crossed. And that's for the rear of the Gladiator. And then we have for the front, the steering stabilizer on, I think it's all Jeeps, I know for sure on my TJ and on the Gladiator and the JL. The steering stabilizer hangs below is it the drag link bar or the track bar? I think it's the track bar. Hangs underneath it. It's low, it's susceptible to being hit by rocks. I've hit mine a couple times actually off-road. So this is a simple bracket relocation kit from Clayton Offroad. What it does is on the passenger side, above the knuckle, it just moves the mounting from below. Using the OEM one, this will mount on top instead and give you a place to mount your steering stabilizer. And then on the other end, this with a couple of these U-brackets will clamp around the bar and just move that steering stabilizer up above it. Again, if you did damage it on the trail, not going to be catastrophic. Might make your steering a little bit harder, but you should be able to limp off the trail. But again, for less than 100 bucks, much easier to do it in my garage on a beautiful day when I have all my tools instead of trying to do it in the dirt or the mud or the rain, whatever the case might be on a trail. So again, hoping it's easy, hoping those bolts aren't on there too tight. But let's jump into it. I'll take you off the tripod in a minute and we'll go up underneath the Jeep and we'll do the rear sway bar brackets first. All right, so this is going to be a little bit hard to show. So hard to see, but up in there, I don't know how to do this. The brackets are supposed to mount here. I have Rockbox removable rock guards, mud guards. So I think I should be able to, I don't know. We have a little bit of a problem here because this bracket is using the bolts that I need to be using. It needs to sit right up under there. Problem is now, if I remove this bracket and put the reinforcement bracket behind it, it's gonna push this bracket out, which throws off the mounting for these mud flaps. So these mud flaps are quick disconnect or there's thumb screws. So I'm gonna remove this just to give myself a little more working room. I haven't washed the Jeep in a while. It's been raining. So I guess today after I work on this stuff, I will give this thing a wash. There's two of them. There must be. Let's put this guy here. just held on by dirt and friction. All right, so, well, so this does have some adjustment in it. I don't know. Here, let's do this. All right, where am I? Okay, so this is where the mud flap mounts. You do see there was some adjustment in there. I had it adjusted all the way in, which is what I'd still want even if I moved it out. Well, I'm gonna remove this bracket. It's only a couple bolts, and we'll see how this works. My other concern is that bracket on there, if these bolts, what is holding it on now? So now we're going to, where are we at? Take off the sway bar bolt. So mine are not broken. They are still in good condition. What happens is they break. Where's my finger at? They break right there at the bottom. But this looks good. But still, I don't know if you can see that. This bracket doesn't do anything. All it's doing is holding a connector up. I'm gonna take that out and I'll zip tie that connector up out of the way or something like that. So, here we go. We got the new Metalcloak bracket behind the Rock Blocks mud flap bracket. Comes down, ties into here, and now that sway bar is into a real nice piece of 1/4" steel. All right, see if you can see this. So the Metalcloak bracket lifts away from the frame a bit, which is pushing this out and up a little bit, it looks like. Maybe hard to see. So now these mud flaps stick out a bunch at an angle at the bottom. They're not straight anymore. So it's kind of annoying. So this bracket right here doesn't really, I mean, it gives some triangular support here. These are mud flaps. They don't weigh very much. I don't know. I mean, they can't weigh more than a pound. I don't, so. This guy, just like that. There we go. This side should go quicker. I know what I'm doing. Famous last words. A little hard to see. I know it's bright outside. And I got a flashlight. This has a little bit less room to work simply because I got the exhaust right here. But it shouldn't be too bad. Let's stick this guy there. Done. All right. So that took longer than expected, but you can see up in there, got the Metalcloak bracket. You can see a little bit better view there maybe. Got the Metalcloak bracket in there. I got the Rock Blocks bracket. They're good. They're not going anywhere. They're just mud flaps. So awesome. Well, we ran into some video recording technical difficulties the other day when installing this steering stabilizer relocation bracket. So no video. So I thought what I'd do is just show you kind of what was done. It's real hard to get up in here. But basically, here we go. So this is the new bracket that comes in here. Real simple. We had to drill a single hole, a factory bolt right there. This bolt, we drilled a hole real easy through the frame, put a little paint on it, and then mounted the steering stabilizer here. And then on the other end, the steering stabilizer is now up behind here, which is nice, and mounts on this nice heavy-duty beefy bracket on here. So much nicer, much higher up. Previously, it was mounted basically upside down. This bracket's gone. Let me see if I can remember where it was. So this new bracket, where'd my finger go? This bracket was originally mounted here. It hung underneath here, and it attached to a bracket here. So basically it was shifted over probably, I don't know, 6 inches at least, probably more than that. Yeah, 6, 8 inches, and it hung real far down below. So I got a lot more ground clearance right here. You probably can't see it, but the top of my steering stabilizer, there you go, see, it's getting kind of chewed up. There's actually some dents on it. It's flipped 180 degrees from what it was before. But I have definitely hit it on a couple rocks, and I have, you know, it's not damaged yet, it's not leaking or anything, but it's probably only a matter of time before I ripped it off. So it would not have been catastrophic if that happened. You know, you can still steer without a steering stabilizer. It just makes it a little bit easier, a little more stable if you hit something. So yeah, overall, pretty easy job. It took maybe, I don't know, probably half an hour to do it. I recommend it. So yeah, I recommend that a lot. That's the Clayton Offroad steering stabilizer flip kit.